Hi, my name's Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp, and today I thought it would be fun to play with some Clarity masks. The three that I've got in mind are the moons, the castle and the rooftops. And I wanted to show you what one can do with these masks and just a couple of other little ingredients. All I'm going to use, apart from that, is some white square card. I'm going to use our Clarity stencil brushes, a couple of ink pads, i.e. Stonewashed, pitch black and denim, those three. Eventually I'll use an Archival black. I'd like to use a ruler, as you can see here, and a Sharpie pen. I need a pencil, and very important, I need a couple of makeup sponges. I'm going to also be using one of the word chains, Celebrate, to finish up the card. And I think we'll get started, shall we? Right, so the first thing we're going to do is use our white square card. And I want to show you, when you're using these masks, they're very, very pretty and they're very clever, and they're reusable, so they're tacky. But when they're new, they're very tacky. And so you just need to lay it down on your skin or on your clothes, on your apron, and just de-tack it a little bit first so that it doesn't stick to the card. I've already used mine a couple of times because they're very reusable. And what we're going to do now is position this work like so. There we are. So once that's in place, I'm just going to put a bit of copy paper underneath so that when I start working with my makeup sponge, I don't get ink all over my work mat. Right, makeup sponge, and I think I'm going to use a denim ink pad. And I just want to start by inking up my makeup sponge, and I'm going to use the copy paper in the background just to make sure, if I'm using a new ink pad, that it's not too dark. And the first thing I want to do is just define the colour of the houses, you see. And we're just going to go around, and you can dab and smear like this. If it's too dark, you can just smear. The card that I'm using is like the other card, so it's absorbent, you see. But what you have to remember is you can always add the colour, but you can't take it away. So it's a good idea to just go gently. Here we are. And then we can just go through our card like so, just defining the blue line, the line of the rooftops. And we can make it a bit darker if we like. And don't worry about the smears, because this will add to it later on. This will add to the effect. So we're just going to drag through, like so. And then when we've got some blue going, like that. Right. So now we've done our blue. Now I'll take a clean... So we've done some blue now, as an undercoat. And now what I want to do is take my black. And with my black, I'm going to add some shadows. So to do that, I want to use a piece of paper. So I'm just going to trim this in half. I don't want it to be so big. I just need a little bit of paper. And I'm going to use the black now to get the shadows going. Right, black Adirondack. I just need a black ink pad. And what I want to do now is add some shadows. So I'm just going to use the side of the paper now. And then I can add some shade. And as I move down, can go like this, and I'm using the mask. There we are. I'll just show you, I'll show you a couple of pieces like this. Then you go like that, and now I can take the roof and follow through with that line. See? There we are, and now I'm going to turn the artwork, make it come to you. Now I'm going to use this edge here, and again, just a little bit. You can always add it, remember? So, but I want to just show you how you can build up depth and texture. Right, so we've added a bit of black there. And then if it's a bit too stark, you can always add a bit more colour like so. Right, now let's have a look. I want to add an alley here. So if I go around this side, let me use that black again. And I just want to just take my black colour through there. There we are. And then I'll just put this wall, I'll define this wall as well. And then I can work my way along the bottom here doing this. And every time you do this, your artwork will be different. No two will ever be the same. And you can add some more darkness to the top. Let's add another little alley here. And perhaps, you see, and I'm going vertical. Everything that I'm doing here is vertical. But you could just as easily define the rooftops. I'll show you what I mean. Let me just do this. I'm going to hold it. Right. See, you could just as easily do the chimneys like this. Go this way as well. So that you're getting shadows from the top like so. So it's entirely up to you. And then when you've finished that for the first phase, then the trick is to just take your, because it's a plastic mask, you can just wipe the colour through like so. Just get a good edge. And then when we lift this away, you'll see, we'll take that one away, and we've got a really, let's replace this on our wax paper, and you'll see, first of all, we've got our first stage. So let's take a look here, and you'll see that it's really nice, and that's the first layer. So we're going to keep going. And what I want to do now is take the castle. But you'll notice that I'm actually always taking the sky part. And again, remember, if it's a new mask, to detack it slightly. And then when we're happy with the position, we'll just press it down. Okay, that's it. Just make sure it's all nice and flat. Right, now we're ready to start on the castle. So once again, I'm going to take my blue, make sure I put my... I find it's always a good idea to replace the lids, because otherwise I think I'm in the blue and I end up in the black, so to speak. So what I want to do now is just gently add a little bit of shadow along the hills here. And I've got to just hold on to the artwork so that it doesn't move. And one thing I want to point out as well, while I'm just running through here with some blue, is if you might be well advised to cover up the bunting. The bunting, we're going to use it in a moment, but you don't want to go through the bunting with your makeup sponge at this stage. So let's just add a little bit of blue here to the turrets and to the castle, like so. There, that's it. So we've got our blue, and now I want to take my piece of paper, put the lid on the blue, get the black out, and now I'm a black sponge, and now I'm going to add a little bit of depth to the castle. So let's take our piece of scrap paper, and let's just add a little bit of depth to this, a little bit of shadow. Just do this. Be aware, I'm very aware of the bunting up here, that I don't want to cover that. And if you feel it's too dark, let me show you. If you feel this line is too dark, then the trick is to, when you put the paper in place, when you go to add the ink, just start further back. And that way, by the time you actually get to the paper, you'll see, it won't be quite so extreme. And look at what you're doing, check, because you can always add a bit, can't you? So you can go in and add a bit of depth if you feel you need to. There, that's cool. So we've got a little bit of blue and a little bit of black, and then we're just going to go through the turrets like this. There's one there. Don't want to overcook it. Oh, bit much. Don't worry. And then we'll put a couple of little lines in there as well. Get rid of your ink. There we go. And see, depending on how you add the shade, you can get fantastic depth. There we are. Look, it looks almost square now, as if we've gone in and chiselled it. Nice. And then I just want to add a little tiny bit of greyness. So I'm not even re-inking. I'm just going to add a little bit of depth to that area there and that area there. There. Let's have a look at this castle now, shall we? So if I lift this one off now, let's just take this away. And then let's see what we've got. Very nice. Okay, so I'm just going to replace my castle. Actually, do you know what we could do now? Let's have a look. Let's show you all about the bunting. I'm going to add some bunting from this point here to this point here, just so you see. And I'm going to use the small bunting, and I'm going to pull it so that it's taut. And that taut line, I want to attach that to that roof and to that roof like that. And then the rest will just drop into place. I know it looks very busy, but I've got a plan, don't you worry. And then we're going to cover up that bunting because I can see it happening if I don't. And then I want to take my blue ink again. So let's take my blue ink, the denim, and I want to cover up this part of the house here. I just want to cover this up here. Right. Forgive me for being pedantic, but my bunting isn't attached to the roofs at all. So I'm just going to bring it down a bit further, otherwise it's not even attached, which looks a bit weird. Right, now I'm happy. Okay, if a job's worth doing, I'd say it's worth doing well. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, now let's have a look. So what we want to do now, we've covered up the other bunting, and now I'm going to dab, dab, dab with the blue right through like this. And I'm not smearing, I want a really solid, lovely, bright, central bunting. And I'm covering up the house at that end. And now I need to do the same at this end, like so. Right, let's have a look. And we'll go through here, like so. I find that the end result is quite astounding when you consider that all you've used is a couple of pieces of paper, a makeup sponge or two, and a couple of our clarity masks. These are pretty exceptional. Now let's have a look where we are right now. So we've replaced our work, we've got our bunting hanging, we've got our lovely castle in the background looking down at all the minions. Let's have a look. All right, now we're rocking. I like it a lot. So I would say that we've done that, and now I want to show you where we're going to go to finish the picture. Now my suggestion is that there's a lot of sky here, so I'm going to take a pencil and a ruler, and I just want to make sure my ruler is clean. And I want to just add, let's turn this over so it's a clean piece of copy paper as well. And I'm going to say that my picture is going to be about the width of a ruler. That's where I would put the cut-off point on my picture, about there, okay? And what we want to do now is add some sky. So, do you remember I said I've got another mask? Right, so we've done the castle, and we've done the rooftops, and now I think I want to use my moon. This is one of the moons. So I'm just going to detack it so that it doesn't stick. And then I'm just going to add my moon right into the sky, like so. And the reason for this is because I want you to see how fantastic these brushes work. Now, here's a brand new brush, and I'm going to use Stonewashed to begin with. I think I'll use some Stonewashed because it's quite a light colour. Okay, we want to go subtle, remember? If we want it darker, we can always add it afterwards, can't we? Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of... Just load that brush up with some Stonewashed, like so. And then what I want to do, just to make a point, I'm going to take a piece of copy paper and I'm just going to line the copy paper up there, like so. Now let's see how much blue we can actually... Just get rid of the excess first, because again, you know, we don't want to overcook it. And then what we're going to do is just break these edges a little bit. So if I just dust around like this, just break these edges slightly. And then I'm going to go across here like so. And I'm just going to add a little bit of blueness. And you see, when you're doing this, you think that nothing's happening. And I'm just taking this lovely big clarity brush and I'm just dusting across like this. And if I want, I could add a little bit more. Let's see if we've made any impact. Getting there. So let's get radical now, and let's take a bit of the darker colour so you can see it better. Right, now this time you can see this is much darker. So I'm just going to get rid of the excess because I don't want to make it too dark too quickly. And now I'm going to just start dusting across with a darker colour. Let's see if we can see that better. There we are. And then I can just add a little bit round the edges as well. There we go. We'll bring our moon out this way, you see. Let's just do this corner. The thing about the brushes is, you see, you can go in a circle too, look. Now let's see if we've added some colour. Marvellous. So now you can see exactly where my picture ends here. You see? Like so. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is lift off that moon. So I'm just going to catch this with my finger. There we go, it comes off very easily. And I'm going to replace that on my wax paper. Cool. Now the last thing I want to do, let's take this picture now. Look, you can see how much colour actually came off there, can't you? Let's turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. And now I want to take my black Archival ink pad and I want to add a message in this area here. And to do that, I'm going to use our one of our word chains, and I want to use the word celebrate across here. This will make a fantastic man's card. I'm going to use the word celebrate across the moon. So I just want to ink up my word with black Archival. And then I shall add this into the sky. Perfect. So there we are. There's our card. It's a nice piece of artwork. I hope you agree with me. And what I love about this, what I love about this really is that all I've used is a couple of makeup sponges and a couple of masks. I hope that you enjoy being creative with these as I do too. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye-bye now.